Brexit was a constitutional decision. The refrain of the campaign at the time was "take back control." Well, we have now taken back control, but what are we actually going to do with this control that we have taken back? My hope was that we would liberalise, or at least get rid of some of the rules in the European Union that we didn't like the smell of or didn't think quite fit the British economy. Certainly those on the Eurosceptic side have been arguing for years that the sort of regulatory and legal environment that had been imposed upon us from Brussels was not optimal for the UK. So whilst I appreciate that the government's been going through the handling of a national crisis for recent months and has had its mind occupied on other things, can you give me any reasons to be cheerful about Brexit? I mean, I understand that we've reduced the taxation on women's sanitary products, but I was hoping for rather more than this for the freedom that I was going to get back from the EU. Put my mind to rest, Jake.
Well, I'll do my best. First of all, I think you're wrong to be disappointed by the removal of VAT on women's sanitary products, because the advantage of leaving the EU is not that there is one big regulation affecting all of our lives that we want to get rid of, but thousands of regulations that make people's lives a little bit more difficult. There, many of them at the margin of what governments can do. They are a burden on people's backs, and getting rid of them will take time because partly they've got to be found and then they've got to be legislated for to remove them. But it's where the IEA can really contribute, that indeed we all can contribute. Businesses can contribute by saying, look, this regulation, I had one, a businessman got in touch with me, say he has to keep a ladder in his place of work, and he has to check once a month that the ladder is still working and tick a box to say that he has tested the ladder, which is all of 2 rungs or something to get books from a high shelf. It's these sorts of pettifogging, annoying details that we need to work through. But more importantly than that, there are the big things we can do that are going to make us competitive over the next generation. And what am I talking about? Well, things like gene editing. And this isn't genetic modification, it's a sort of sister of that. And it means that we can have a more efficient agricultural sector without bringing up phantoms of Frankenstein foods and things like that. And that's a bill that's going to come through. We can look at how we manage data. Indeed, the government is looking at how it manages data and the regulations around data, which are currently extraordinarily onerous and detailed. We have at the moment going through Parliament a financial services bill, which is going to go back to principle-based regulation rather than the detailed line-by-line approach regulation the EU has had. And I think that what our medicines agency has done with the vaccine is symbolically important as to the new approach to regulating. It's not that we're going to be the Wild West. It's not that we're going to have no protections for people and we're going to put lead back in the paint on children's toys or any of those sorts of things. It's that we're going to be intelligent about our regulation. And we're going to recognize that the point of regulation is to lead to a good outcome, not the regulation in itself. It's a means to an end rather than an end in itself. Whereas the EU, the regulations are very much an end in themselves. And if you've ticked the boxes, that's fine. But if you haven't, however sensible it is to speed things up, you're not allowed to do it. So it's intelligent regulation, it's detailed regulation. And I'd say to every member of the IEA and everybody listening to this call, if there is one regulation that you know about that you think is unbelievably minor, but is a general inconvenience, write in, let me know, let somebody know so that it can feed into the machine.